Good evening. It is Thursday, the 16th of December. 9 days till Christmas. Can you believe it? And it is the Two's Christmas sports show tonight. So welcome, George.
Hey, David. Hey, everyone else. Hope we're all okay.
But before we do go on to sports tonight, I am going to give the dreaded COVID update and a few news headlines, which, to be fair, probably would come in within the COVID update. If I'm totally honest with you. So there is a lot to do with COVID tonight, which, as you can see on the screen, I'm doing it a slightly different way to what I would normally. So, right, I'm going to be doing it in different. It's not just going to be the deaths, the cases. It's going to be everything. So starting with testing. There were 1.6 million tests reported on the 15th of December. That shows an increase. No, not many, no. That shows an increase of 18.5% compared on the previous 7 days. Between the 9th and the 15th of December, there had been 9 million tests done. So,
That's a lot of marking.
You could say that, yep. And then, so there's not really a lot you can really say to that.
It's good that they're doing more testing.
It is, yes.
I know people are going to say, "Oh, but that means more chance of people to be testing positive." Well, you can't have it both ways.
No.
You moan people don't do the tests, so
no.
At least they're doing them.
And according to Alexa, you think that's 9 million tests done. According to Alexa, there is in England there's 55 million people. So
exactly.
Right.
And you got to think though, a lot. What I will say, just because people are doing tests, it doesn't mean they've got COVID.
No.
A lot of people are doing tests because that's what they have to do in their workplaces.
Exactly, which comes on to the next part of cases. So you saying that it does bring into light a little bit of the actual cases ways. Confirmed cases today is 88,376.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't know what to say about that.
Which is an increase on 10,000 from yesterday. Now this
really sounds far-fetched to me, just how much it is in one day. Like, I'm not saying it's not true, but that's a massive jump just in one day. I just wonder if it's like they are numbers that should scare the public, but I don't think they will, unfortunately.
But you're saying that from that, I'm looking at between the 10th of December and the 16th of December. This is why I've decided to do it this way, because you get a bit more information than what I was doing before. So between the 10th of December and the 16th of December, there's 442,378 confirmed cases, which is an increase of 31.4%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 6 days.
I do it with all these cases. I have a really big, massive issue, and it is really controversial, and people don't like my views on it. But it's sad what's going on. But for me, there's a group of people that are to blame for this, and it is the government.
Yes.
Because we were told by scientists, doctors, whoever else, people who know what they're on about, not these people that are sitting on social media and saying we should do this, do that, that we're going to have probably one, or if not the most hardest winter coming up.
Yes.
And there's no plan or preparation.
No, there's not.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't act, we react. And I've said it from day one, and if they'd done what they was meant to do, when the first don't worry, guys, I've not got COVID, it's just a cold. And a cold is something that was here before COVID.
It's all right. He's not got Omicron. He's got Delta.
They got Omicron, just Gaviscon.
Yeah.
Like, this was planned, not planned, but like, we knew this was going to happen. So for me, why was not the right stuff put in?
Exactly. And there's a few bits coming up in the news headlines that will cover basically what you're saying there, George, because I don't understand it. I really don't. There's some bits I just really don't understand at all about it. Vaccinations. Now, vaccinations are currently given in 2 doses. So in the last 21 days, 51.3 million people have been given a first dose, and 46.8 million have been given the second dose. So that's going quite well, to be fair. But I would have, the thing that I know not everybody can have them, and I know that's counted within the figures, but I probably would have expected everyone to have had their first dose. You still there, George? Oh, we've lost George. I'm trying to find where George has gone. No, it's still saying he's there. We will give him a call back. We will see if George is going to come back to us.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is.
No, talking as well, and it just cut out.
Yeah, it said you were still there. So,
okay.
But yeah, no, we were saying about the vaccinations. I said I would have expected everyone to have had their first dose.
Oh yeah, I bet they haven't.
No, 51.3 million people have had the first dose. 46.8 have had the second.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's just showing how bad it's getting. Like, I was talking to Bryony.
Yeah.
She was saying her doctor surgery have basically said they're shut. All their stuff now are going to all these COVID hubs, and I think that's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, so if you've got any follow-up appointments or anything important, you've got to call the number, whatever the number is, or go to hospital.
Yeah, and they give you a you got nine times out of 10 phone 111, or you can phone your doctor's surgery in the morning at 8:30, and you might get a telephone call appointment back.
Yeah, well, they're not even getting that now. Doctors. That's wrong for me. Like, especially if people got, like, if you need repeat prescriptions, you've got to do it through the NHS app.
Yep.
It's just going one way, unfortunately, and I don't know. Like, I know I keep hearing there's not going to be a lockdown, but I don't know why.
Yeah. We're moving actually onto healthcare now. 849 people with coronavirus went into hospital on the 12th of December. See, these figures are a little bit behind because they've got to obviously get them. Yeah. So between the 6th of December and the 12th of December, 6,000 went into hospital with coronavirus. This shows an increase of 8.6% compared to the previous 7 days. There were 7,500 patients in hospital with coronavirus on the 15th of December. Some people in hospital need to use special device called mechanical ventilator to help them breathe. There were 886 on mechanical ventilators. So,
it's going to be a very difficult winter, guys.
It is.
Like they've said from day one, and you've just got to, if you are going out still, just be safe and wear a mask.
Yes. And then the final ones, the deaths. 146.
They're not actually surprisingly that high, are they? Like, I know that sounds a bit disrespectful, but like,
sorry, it's just the way you said that.
yeah, they're just like considering the numbers, like how high they are. I thought, if I'm being honest, I thought they'd be a lot higher at the minute.
Yes, to be fair, there were 146 deaths within 28 days of positive test coronavirus reported on the 16th of December. Between the 10th and the 16th, there were 803 deaths within 28 days.
Can you compare that to the figures you have of people testing positive?
Yes.
The ratio of that is not much. Like, it's sad that there's been people dying. I'm not saying that
No.
at all, but I'm not going to lie. I thought we'd end up going back to like the 400 or 500 lot of deaths.
Yeah, I thought it would have been a lot higher than what it actually is, to be fair. But the figure as of today, it does show a decrease of -6%. So even though the cases are going rocketing one way, the deaths are actually coming down. So
the vaccines are working.
yes.
There are different anti-vaxxers.
But moving on to the news, which COVID cases hit record as boosters drive continues. Now I'm a little bit.
That's the new word, isn't it? Booster.
Yeah.
Like before it was wave or now it's just booster.
Oh no, the booster drive is for the vaccines.
Yeah.
Now the only thing I'm a bit confused on, where it comes to everything being done for the boost, if I'm completely honest, is it Chris Whittle?
Yeah.
Now last night he was like, "Yeah, we're doing really well. We're going further with it. We've got more to come forward. We're pushing it more."
Nick Darcy said the complete opposite today.
And then today he says we're getting the booster vaccination program back on track.
That's typical government, mate. So 1 minute, our government has bipolar. 1 minute you say one thing, and the next day is the complete opposite.
Yeah,
and
so
then they wonder why our government's fighting with each other, like on both sides. But you know when things are bad, when Labour actually agree with the government, with Boris Johnson, but the Conservatives are saying he's talking crap.
Yeah. So that actually sort of threw me a little bit today, because you're thinking, well, which one is it? Oh, have we come off track a little bit and we're getting back on track, or are we pushing forward and doing really well to what you said to the nation last night? And then you've got Boris Johnson. We're not locking down the country. We're not locking the country down, says Johnson. Basically,
not like he said that before, was it?
No, he's basically saying that he's leaving it down to our decision and our way of how we think we should see going forward. But then, if that's the case, then the next news headline: Queen cancels pre-Christmas family lunch.
I bet Prince Harry's upset about
that. So yeah, there's been.
I understand why she's done that, because you know what most people are like in the public eye. Like if she does step the foot out of line,
yes,
they'll be on top.
Yeah, no, I do.
Bricks, and like the way they treat her is disgusting sometimes. So
yeah. Interest rate rise for the first time in 3 years. And I know for a fact that restaurants and hospitality are asking for the VAT to be reduced again.
They're on their knees, don't they, at the minute?
Yeah, because I know one restaurant chain was speaking on the news earlier, and across the whole of his restaurants, in the last 2 days, he's had 650 cancellations.
Yeah.
So it's
Harvest Brothers. I was listening to it on the radio today. The person he's had in Essex,
Yeah.
He's had 284 cancellations in 3 days.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cancellations. That's a lot of burgers still sitting.
Yep.
No one eating them.
It is. It's just mad.
Yeah.
But there again,
I do feel sorry for them, like
Yeah.
the businesses, because like they're trying their best and they're just on their knees. Hospitality.
So it is. It's
Because you think New Year's and like for pubs and that New Year is probably the biggest event ever in their business.
Now a lot of pubs count on New Year to get through January.
Yeah, I think they're counting on New Year to get through
the year.
Yeah.
To get through this year, let alone next year. But a little bit of good news. Johnson announced his name of new daughter, the PM, and his wife, and welcomed Romy Irish Charlotte, their second child.
He ain't obviously been keeping 2 metre distance.
The second child together last week.
Listen, so we're all struggling at home, not being able to see anyone and all that. And Boris Johnson's getting down and dirty with his wife. That's great.
But
I wonder if that was at the Christmas party that they did. That
well, no,
that wasn't a party.
Well, no, that would have been in March when we were in lockdown.
Oh yeah,
it's a lockdown, baby.
Another one will come, don't worry.
Yeah. So that is the news headlines, guys.
No, it's not all miserable.
No. The PM's not shut.
Boris's daughter.
Yeah, the PM's not shutting us down, and he's got a new baby daughter. So, but in all honesty and in all seriousness, I know we're having a laugh and a joke then, but I would say keep an eye on the TV over the next few days, because I do feel restrictions are going to come into place.
Don't go out unless you have to.
No.
Especially being so close to Christmas.
I know Nicola Sturgeon's advising Scotland for only 3 households. And they're expecting more restrictions before Christmas as well. So, yeah. If you want to,
like the restriction to be, if you don't wear a mask and you're in over Jack, you're not allowed out.
Well, there was a country that was actually doing that, penalising the ones that
Germany have done it.
Yeah, Germany, that was it.
Yeah, Germany have banned anyone who's not got proof of having a vaccine or wears a mask. If you get caught with it, you're thrown into prison and you get a fine. And also Australia have started to do it as well. And if you're caught like that, it's £18,000 or whatever their currency is fined on the spot.
Yeah, it's well, perhaps we should start doing that, because I tell you what, they get some of their money back that they lost during the last lockdown, wouldn't they? So, right, moving on to the sport, and the first one I'm going to actually start with is last night. We had the first round of the darts. I think it's the World Series, World Darts Championship. So last night you had Richie Edhouse and Peter Hudson, and Richie Edhouse won that 3-2. Ricky Evans and Nitin Kumar. Ricky Evans won that one 3-0. Adrian Lewis versus Matt Campbell, and that one was an Adrian Lewis win.
I think he might be playing again tonight.
Who's that?
Lewis, and I'm sure it's either tonight or tomorrow, but
it's tonight.
I think he's actually been drawn against Anderson.
He has, yeah.
That's a battle from the years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, that is going to be a good battle. Yeah, I've got that one, the match down in front of me. And then, where did I get to? Yeah, Adrian Lewis 3, Matt Campbell 1, and then Gerwin Price 3, Richie Edhouse 1. So Richie Edhouse, yeah, and then this afternoon you had Steve Lennon 3, Midas Razma 1. Some of these darts players I've never even heard of, to be fair.
That sounds like a new Turkish restaurant.
Yeah. Chris Lamman 3, Scott Mitchell 0. Chaz Barslow 3, John Norman 1, and Daryl Gurney 3, Ricky Evans 1. So, and then tonight you will have William O'Connor versus Danny Laluby, L-A-U-B-Y.
Expect O'Connor to win that.
Yeah, I think that'd be an O'Connor win. Ryan McCall versus Fabian Schumacher.
Never.
No. I almost went Schumacher, but it's not. It's Schumacher. Wrong
Like
sport.
a Jewish holiday.
Ron Mullerkamp versus Lisa Ashton.
Yeah, I like Lisa Ashton wins that.
Yeah, I think she'll do a good.
She's decent. She's no Fallon, but she's decent.
No, I'm not sure if Fallon's in this one at the moment.
I think she is.
And then you got.
Don't know what role she's in.
And then you got Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis. The final match of the evening. That's a round 2 match.
I like to call that one because Anderson's been struggling with his back for ages, and Adrian Lewis. It all depends how he turns up on the day. I know that's really cliche, but
it's not. If it's anything,
really
he was literally on fire last night. He's actually, if he plays like he did last night, I think Anderson will struggle. But I would like to see Anderson do it, only because of the year he's had so far due to health.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow you have got Ryan Joyce versus Roman Benecki.
Joyce will win that.
Yeah, Keen Barry versus Royden Lan. I'm not even sure who both of those players are. And Jermaine Waltermina versus Boris Koltsov. And then Christoph Ratajski versus Steve Lennon tomorrow night. So tomorrow after, and then in the evening you've got Joe Monan versus Paul Lim, William Borland versus Brady Brooks, Ross Smith versus Jeff Smith. I wonder if there's 2 brothers.
Yeah, it could be. I know you've got the 2 brothers, Lee and is it Paul West?
Yeah. I wonder if you've got the Smith brothers as well.
Could do.
And then you've got Peter Wright versus Meckel or Schumacher. So depending who wins that match tonight.
Peter Wright should win that.
Yeah. But this is now on until the 3rd of January.
Obviously COVID barring.
Yes.
There's
a lot of round 1 matches going all the way through to next week. And some round 2 matches coming into play. I'm just seeing where some of the bigger players come in.
I'm pretty sure Fallon is in it. I'm sure she's qualified.
I haven't seen her yet going through the names.
Unless she's sitting this one out. I know the MVG's name yet though, to be fair.
That's because MVG's not in it. Oh, yes, he is. There's MVG. There he is. Yeah. He plays on. When does he play? Saturday evening. But I haven't seen Fallon. I don't think she's in this one.
Oh, okay.
But there again, has she played enough circuits this year to qualify for this one? Because you've got to play a certain amount of circuits, haven't you?
I would have thought so, because Lisa Ashton's in it.
Yeah, but don't forget she went off the circuits for a bit this year because I think her kid was ill.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, no, the finals Monday the 3rd of January at 8 o'clock in the evening. So, but other than that, we haven't actually got a lot more to say on the darts at the moment because, as we said, it only started last night. So moving on to football. Actually, before I move on to football, George, I'm going to ask you a question. What was your feeling on the F1 on Sunday?
As people know me well know, I really do not like Lewis Hamilton.
Yep.
But he was absolutely robbed for me. Like, with Max Verstappen, first of all, he smashed him and nearly put him off the road on the first lap. I think it was first or second lap.
Yeah, the first
he's
lap.
Very
yeah.
aggressive driver.
And to be fair, he didn't. In all fairness, he didn't actually. Verstappen didn't actually do anything wrong in that manoeuvre. All he'd done was followed the racing line and forced.
I just think he's very aggressive.
It was very aggressive. Don't get me wrong.
The amount of crashes and accidents he's caused this season already.
Yes.
The thing with if the safety car's not there, mate, I don't think Verstappen wins. That's where I'm at. Like, what it seemed like to me, and I agree with what someone said, it's like if you compare it to a game. So, if you compare it to a football game, it's like having a team being 4-0 up.
Yeah.
Then in the 90th minute, they say, right, next goal wins.
Yeah.
And they only done it like that to make it more exciting, and that's where I think it's an absolute farce.
Let's go through some actual other F1 news though. Hamilton's disillusioned and will never get over Abu Dhabi GP, says Wolf.
I'm sure I'll get over it. He's just been named as Sir.
Well, he's on about quitting, isn't he?
Pardon?
Hamilton's on about quitting.
Yeah, I did hear that, but I don't think he will. I just think he's doing that to show that thing can never ever happen again. Like, I don't like him, but he has a lot of problems. He has a lot of reasons to feel aggrieved in that race.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's money again.
And apparently, as of today, Mercedes will not pursue appeal against Abu Dhabi result. So that's obviously getting dropped now.
Yeah.
And Lella tests positive for coronavirus, the Ferrari driver.
Yeah.
And as you've just mentioned, Hamilton receives knighthood for services in motorsport.
He got a knighthood for driving a car.
Yes. And Verstappen put a statement out saying races should be won on the track. So would I be worried if they were won in the air? But
well, no way he drives.
So that's that one. Doing it this way, we can actually get news about the sports as we go along. So it's quite good.
Yeah. Don't know where you want to start with a football.
I'll get to football in a minute. Boxing. There's some news on boxing. Is it Chisora?
Yeah. Chisora.
Yeah. Rematch is make or break for Parker, says Parker. So.
I hope he batters Chisora. I can't stand him. He's horrible. I don't know if it'll come up on there. It should do, but I don't. Obviously, Fury's been told he's got to fight against Dylan White. Which I think would be a good match.
It might be there somewhere. Taylor edges out Shapira in scrappy points win. It doesn't say anything about that one yet.
Well, he's been told that he has to fight a mandatory title match against Dylan White, which is probably looking like the new year, in the next year now, because obviously they want as many crowds to Battle of Britain again. I think Anthony Joshua's got a make or break year myself.
Not a lot in the golf area, but I'm not a golf. I don't know much about golf myself, so.
I just know they hit the ball and it goes in sometimes.
Tennis. Apparently, Nadal is going to be a super difficult. Nadal has low expectations as he prepares for injury comeback. So that could be quite interesting to see.
You notice that all them ones are getting injured now, like Murray, Nadal.
Yeah.
And the only one who stays super fit is Federer. He's an animal. He never gets injured, really.
Bit of rugby league news. Wakefield Stadium revamp approved. Wakefield Trinity could start their stadium revamp in early 2022 after Wakefield Council awarded planning permission. So, not sure what the actual.
Moving to Emmerdale.
And in rugby union, Bristol re-signed England prop Jens from Leicester for next season. Henderson backs to captain Ulster and bigger misses out on Northampton. So we've already covered Formula One. Cricket, the Ashes are on the line only one day into the second test.
Yeah, they are. We're not doing that well.
No.
Australia about 200 and something for 2.
221 for 2.
Yeah, problem is out there. We don't have the experience in Australian conditions, and
No.
that is the problem. And we make silly mistakes, like team, like in the first test, the one we lost, bowling wise, we come back and done quite well.
Yep.
Batting in the second innings, but because we were so bad batting in the first when we should have been bowling, that is the problem we've got. Like, we haven't won the Ashes. We haven't won at specific ground, for like 30 odd years.
No.
So that shows how dominant Australia are.
Oh yeah, they are.
We haven't won the Ashes in Australia for a good 10, 20 years potentially.
It's got to be something like that. Yeah. And now moving on to the football.
So I can break some news for you live on here.
Arsenal are selling up?
No, we're fourth now.
Oh, right,
we have to be fourth. No other team plays at the minute. So four more games for this weekend have been called off because of COVID. I know one of them's West Ham versus Norwich. I don't know who the other 3 are. As far as I know, Arsenal's game against Leeds is still on, and I think Liverpool's at Tottenham.
Do you want to tell you the matches?
Yeah, you can do.
Man United and Brighton. That's postponed.
It's a surprise.
Southampton and Brentford. Watford and Crystal Palace. And West Ham and Norwich.
Yeah, so
that's for Saturday.
Yeah.
And Everton Leicester on Sunday. And I do expect that one at the bottom there, Tottenham Hotspurs and Liverpool, to be postponed as well.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that should we stop the season for 2 weeks? Personally, no.
No.
Because where do you fit it back in? And so you stop it then. These cases are going to take 2 weeks. It's the whole point of squads having 25-man squads. I understand if you're getting loads and loads of cases, but they only stopped football when we was all on a lockdown.
Yeah.
They're not stopping football because of the fans, they're stopping it because the players are catching it. So they just need to rebuild up the tight